A good leader establishes a clear and compelling vision. They develop and set up an appropriate structure, select the right people for that structure, support the team, and that really, in my view, is aimed around knocking down barriers to their success, provide development for both the team and the individuals, and most important, communicate to all levels of the organization. Also, an effective leader is very, very capable and has expertise in utilizing multiple management styles. For example, you may find that sometimes a visionary style is necessary in order to set and determine the long-term vision, so it's a real long-term focus. However, during times of crisis, you should probably be using more of a directive style, although overutilization of directive style can develop a dictator-like orientation of the organization, which is generally not very healthy. Maybe a participative style is inappropriate in some situations where you want to do consensus building or pace setting or coaching. So the bottom line is an effective leader really is capable of seamlessly transitioning between multiple leadership styles, really aimed at addressing the current situation the best that's possible. Both international and virtual teams create some very unique challenges. Having a lot of experience internationally, in my experience, it's important that you spend an adequate enough time face-to-face in their environment, in their country, in their culture, to really understand them, develop a personal relationship before you ever attempt to do any kind of a virtual activity. The other challenge in my most recent experience in Israel startup environment was I had a management team, half consisting of U.S. people, U.S.-based people, and half consisting of Israeli and Israeli-based people. And the cultural differences are vast between those two groups of people. And so we spent a lot of time team building and developing a respect for each other's roles, each other's expertise, and each other's cultures in order to better function virtually, which we had to do because of the vast differences in both geography and time zone differences that we dealt with. The first one was when I assembled the first, what I would call, extremely high-performance team, and the individuals that were all the best in their field, much more experienced, much more talented than I was, and that was the good news. The bad news was I made the assumption of assembling a team of really high-performance people that they would automatically work as a team, and in this case, they absolutely did not. Luckily, through using an executive coach and coming in and assessing the team and developing the team, we truly turned it around and took the team to the next level. So first and foremost, do not assume with very, very high performance individuals on a team that they will operate as a team unless you do some things specifically aimed at ensuring that that happens. And the CEO has to take full responsibility for that, and he has to address every issue throughout the team. The second one is actually very simple, and it was extremely hard for me to do, and that is be quiet and listen. Over my career in marketing and engineering, oftentimes I would be very, very passionate about an issue, and I would express that passion in a heated discussion we'd have in a team meeting. As CEO, your subordinates don't hear opinions, they hear decisions. And so a passionate plea by a CEO about an issue that he's passionate about, you will hear later from other people that that the individual had made the decision in a meeting when in fact you were simply expressing a decision, an opinion. So I worked very hard at being quiet and making sure that the other ideas around the table surfaced, and that my passion, that my voice didn't squelch any of that. There's other ideas that were important around the table. My mentor was the person who was president CEO of the company that I replaced him when he retired. Along with being long-term friends and having worked together for over 20 years, he brought as an engineer, being an engineer, he brought to me skills and experience that I had never had, which was he was a sales and marketing international executive. So he brought to me, and I learned a lot from him about how to manage, set up, drive, and develop sales around the globe. And it varies whether you're in South America or the Eastern Bloc, Middle East, and I learned quite a lot. In fact, that was invaluable for me in my startup experience in Israel, where we developed all of our sales outside the U.S. well in advance of any activity inside the U.S. Very simply, in hiring, I look for the smartest, most talented, and most experienced executives that I can find. Oftentimes trying to find people that I think are much more talented, much smarter, and much more experienced than myself in their area of expertise. So that's the very first level. But more important than that is once you find those individuals, it's critical that you assess their ability to work within the team. I've had individuals that were fantastic individual performers, but very difficult in a team environment. And so I really try to assess that in the interview as well. So that is a sort of a decision-making criteria. You can really get at when you put them into difficult team environment scenarios that you've been in and ask them how they would deal with it. Their answers typically will reveal any issues that are going to come up. Not always. I mean, you can't always hire that perfect person, but oftentimes if you really look for it, you can see it.